Hey there, it's Dawn Jones from Successful Training Solutions, your personality motivator, and I am here with generational expert.
Hey, Caroline, and I am your communication coach. We are so excited to be here today with you.
All right, and here we are at video 3. We're going to talk about self-awareness today. And a quick recap, in video 1, we talked about reinforcing the things that you've learned from your live training and remembering the things that were important from both a generational standpoint and from a personality standpoint. Then we moved into practical practice, where I walked you through the tone, tempo, and body language of the differing personality styles, that direct, the social extrovert, the thinker analyzer, and the relational person. And in Kara's practical practice, she walked you through
how to talk to people and make sure that you understand where they're coming from.
Absolutely.
In every generation.
Right. For today, for self-awareness, we want to reflect on you, because at this point, you're probably noticing that it's really easy to slip back into your old habits and kind of go, oh, I just want to go back to doing it the way I've done it before, changing my style. This requires that 4-letter word, W-O-R-K. And sometimes we balk at that. So Kara's going to walk you through some practical tips for self-awareness during this time of transition. Take it away, Kara.
All right. Well, I'm really glad that you said that, Dawn. It does take work. That's what W-O-R-K spells, by the way. So it does take work. And the reality is, now looking at you, okay, you, self-awareness, in my segment about generations, I'm not actually reviewing the generations in and of itself. We've talked so much about them. Traditionalists, very work hard. We talked about baby boomers, questioning. We talked about Gen Xers, kind of the me generation. We talk about millennials, the trophy generation. They work smart. And we've talked about Gen Z, just being responsible. So now I want to reflect on you. Number 1 is, are you seeing your own generation as something that has strengths and advantages instead of just looking at yourself in the negative light, or other people in the negative light in their generation? So I just want you guys to be extremely strength-based and look at yourself and my self-awareness. What are the good things that have come out of my generation? So therefore I can adapt that other generations have good things too. That's number 1. See the strengths. Number 2 in self-awareness is put on a different lens and a different goggles, if you will, different goggles when you're looking at a different generation. So you could be self-aware. Hey, I know I'm coming to you as a Gen Xer. Right now, though, I'm going to put on these lenses. The lens of a millennial. How do they think? I'm going to look through the lens of a baby boomer. So being self-aware is knowing where you stand and what glasses to put on as you see others. And then number 3 is, really do this for me. This is such good self-awareness. Be curious instead of critical. So when somebody does something that you want to be critical of, you're like, oh, it's just that generation. I want you to do something different instead. I want you to be like, hey, I'm curious, why did they do that? I'm just curious, why did that happen? And you're going to be able to absorb a lot of frustration and anger in your own self-awareness if you do that, if you be curious instead of critical. And you can even use those words. Hey, I'm just curious. Help me understand. Really good stuff. All right, Dawn. So now how can we be self-aware with personalities?
Well, with personalities, there's going to be 3 stages that we go through in self-awareness: awkward, mechanical, and natural. Anytime you're putting on a new cap or a new jacket and trying something on for size to see how this is going to work, it will feel kind of awkward. You're thinking to yourself, okay, is this forced? It feels forced. Is it phony? It kind of doesn't feel genuine. But remember, it's going to be awkward, because if you look at your right brain and your left brain, your right brain is your relational, your left brain is your learning. So when you've got your left brain learning sequential, linear, you're learning something new, and then you're trying it on for size with your right brain random relational brain, and it's going to feel a little bit awkward, kind of like learning to speak that new language. So embrace the awkwardness and know that you're on track. Then the second phase is mechanical. For example, if you're speaking with a direct person, you may think to yourself, okay, I've got to go in, I've got to be direct, I've got to make the point, I've got to leave here thinking I've got to be task-driven and goal-oriented. What's my goal? What's the task? And it might feel a little bit mechanical when you go in to speak with that direct person. Remember, though, you're speaking their language, just like learning a foreign language. You're practicing it until it becomes permanent. Practice makes permanent. So you'll go awkward, mechanical, and then next thing you know, it starts to become natural. So when you see that social extrovert come in, you immediately know, okay, I got to be up, I got to be alert, I got to be awake, and I'm not changing who I am. But what you are doing is you're speaking their language, putting on their cap so that you can accomplish your goals and objectives. I don't want to be. And remember, the same thing goes when you're speaking with your thinker analyzers or your relational people. You're learning their language. You will still feel a little bit awkward unless that's already your style. And it will still seem a little bit mechanical when you're practicing their tone, their tempo, their body language, again, unless that's already your style. And then it will become more natural. And so as you're implementing these, realize you've got your right brain and your left brain coming into play, learning something new, implementing it, and then you are practicing so that it becomes permanent. And you're doing that how many times over 21 to 30 days? At least 6 to 10 times over a 21 to 30 day period. In fact, if you review these videos, review your notes, just like learning a foreign language, you will pick it up much quicker.
All right, Dawn, this was great. I mean, self-awareness is something that we don't oftentimes review because a lot of people think, oh, how relevant is it? We wanted you to see the relevance of your self-awareness and how that'll make a difference in how you see generations and personalities.
All right, until next time, in our final fourth video, we will be talking about your ongoing success implementing all of these from today forward through the rest of your life. Until next time, Dawn Jones and Carol Lane from Successful Training Solutions.
Bye, everybody. Bye. High fives again.
Woo!